Well, happy 2025 to you. It's a brand new year, a lot more opportunities, new opportunities for if you live here in Costa Rica, or if you're considering coming to Costa Rica. And one of the realities is you have to have a legal counsel about a lot of things. Good day to you. My name's Terry with Howler Magazine, and with me is Debbie with Quatro Legal. Welcome, Debbie.
Hi, thanks, Terry. Hope you're doing great. Can you believe it's 2025?
I think we just started the last year, and boom, it's over, and here we are. And one of the realities is, if you're considering, or if you've lived here, if you looking at moving here, is the need to have a trustworthy legal representation, a company that's going to tell you the truth, tell you everything you need to know the first time you go there. I hear those horror stories.
Yes.
And follow through with what they say they're going to do. And if you were to post this question on social media, and I think we mentioned this in all these webinars that we've been doing, you're going to get so many different, the good, bad, and the ugly, kind of like the Howler Magazine edition in January. You're going to get so many stories. And certainly we appreciate those who have been following and reading, watching our webinars and sharing them and liking them. And also I notice even when someone asks something, I see Quatro Legal on, like say on Facebook, who do y'all use? I'll see Quatro Legal in the comments several times. And that's an affirmation that that's a word of mouth approval of what Quatro Legal, their reputation, because yes, you want somebody you can trust that's going to follow through, who's going to give you the information you need. And then with some changing areas of policy and laws, someone who's going to keep up with that and keep you, their client, informed. So Debbie, tell us a little bit about some of the benefits or what Quatro Legal can do or has done for you, and what they can do for the resident or the person who's becoming a resident.
Thanks, Terry. Of course, everybody will know, I always say, I know that you know people that aren't listening to this right now that are friends of folks that are watching our webinar series right now. Please send this information around. Everyone needs them, and they need to know what really is the scoop, what's the true scoop, because I talk to people every day, and the internet is just full of things that is such old information. It doesn't apply at all now, or they ask questions that a mistake on that question could cost them tens of thousands of dollars, and they'll ask someone on Facebook. And so if you could just share this information with your friends and like and subscribe to these webinars so we can bring more to you. And Terry, to answer your question first, I was thinking as you were talking, we've been in this expat world for about 15 years, which is kind of unbelievable to me that, one day after the other, and it's 15 years, right? And I can tell you that I'm essentially I'm essentially gone through, before I found Quatro, which is, thank God I found Quatro, like 5 attorneys at least. Now, the first one wasn't really an attorney. He was just lying. Okay. And I found out, I got on the website for the law, it's like the Bar Association for Costa Rica, and found out that he wasn't. And so we parted ways with him pretty quickly. But it's just really important. Most of us have never lived in a country that you have to have an attorney. In Costa Rica, you're going to need an attorney for everything, even to buy a car. And for those of us coming from somewhere else, that's kind of mind-boggling to us, because most of us, that process is very form-driven, and we also spend our lives not wanting to ever need an attorney, because it's bad if we need an attorney, right? It's not good like it is in Costa Rica and exciting, where you're buying property, or you're becoming a resident, or you're buying a car, or you're doing all these things. It's just different. And so the great thing about Quatro is, we really have someone that you can find out what you need about almost everything you would ever need in Costa Rica. Now, with that said, we have specific practice areas, and the attorneys that practice in those practice areas, they are the experts on that practice area. So it's almost like having several law firms to get together that, each have one thing that they're the expert at doing. But for us, we have teams of people, departments that do that. And so we have a real estate, we have immigration, we have corporation, we have other departments to help you with different things. We can help you with all that pesky maintenance things that have to be filed every year, especially if you have a corporation. Raise your hand, you know who you are if you have to deal with that. And it's so great to have somebody you can depend on that's going to make sure that that's taken care of. And that's, I just can't tell you what peace of mind it is to have that done for you. We really take it serious to have information for people. They can get a hold of someone at Quatro Legal. Just to, not quite 24/7, but you can sure send an email to us 24/7, 365. And at least if they send the email to me, my goal is you're going to get a response unless it's a holiday or weekend within 24 hours. And sometimes it depends on, what I might be bored. You're going to get it on Sunday at midnight. So, you just never know. But I try really hard to get back to people like that. But those are complimentary consultations. There is no reason to be asking the masses on Facebook about something that's critical to you and your family's future, because it can cost, wrong information on there can really cost you time, energy, money, heartache. It causes heartache because you get the wrong information. And so we really are trying hard to make sure people have accurate, timely information. That's why we do these webinars. That's why we have this YouTube channel that's got, dozens and dozens of videos in English on any topic just about that you would need to have information on. And they're just, everybody at Quatro is pretty much, everybody speaks English. And that's great too, because it's important. That's kind of the universal language in some cases, to be able to actually converse. And so we take that responsibility very seriously to make sure that you have timely, accurate information, because you're making a decision about your family and yourself and your future, and you're moving to another country. That's not like moving cross country in your own country. That's, a little bit more. So we're really excited that you let us and invite us to come and do these webinars with you, because it really helps spread the word.
HowlerMag.com is the website for Howler. We've been publishing since 1996, a variety of articles. Wow. and legal things. Legal items are in our business section because it is a needed, valuable resource for people to have. Take Residency. Without going real long, because we have videos on Residency that gives a capsule of what Quatro Legal can do.
Well, and thanks, Terry. And what I was saying, but one thing that's important is to stay up to date on changes. Lots of websites are wrong. Lots of information on the internet is old information. And if you continue to try to make decisions based on that, it's going to cause you a lot of stress, because then you'll talk to me and I'll give you something. You'll say well, I read. It's well, that was like that 20 years ago. It's not like that now. I don't even know why that's on there, or you've even found it. But essentially what we do is pretty much everything that you need as far as your residency application. The only thing that we don't do is we don't do actual document procurement. That's why if people who have been watching us, or they can go look on our YouTube channel, they'll have the webinar we did a couple of months back, I guess, with Melissa DiNardo with Legalize That Docs, because the document procurement is also an expertise, and it's important that you get someone that's actually knows what they're doing and does that. And so that's what we do with that. But other than that, we do every part of that process. You essentially have to only just come in the office one time. And the reason for that is you have to give and sign a power of attorney so that Quatro Legal can represent you in front of the immigration department. You'll also have your passport copied, every single page. And one of the reasons for that is because your passport stamp will show that you were actually in the country when you signed the power of attorney. And then we will also take your passport photos. At that time, if we can arrange it, we will get your appointment for your fingerprints in Costa Rica. That's something you also have to do, but it doesn't have to be done in the beginning. It can be done pretty much at any time. It's just something to do, but we have to get that through the police department. So sometimes it's a little bit harder to get those appointments than other times. But you just really need to, no matter who you talk to, make sure that you're getting really good, accurate, timely information. You know, one category that has changed significantly over the last couple of years is the rentista category. There is so much misinformation out there because people haven't updated their websites that it's really bad, because I get emails every day from people. And so then I have to tell them, no, it doesn't work that way. This is how it works now. And if you're moving and you're planning on using the exemptions to move your furniture, and maybe bring your car, you know, that's important to stay on top of and understand, you know, how that's working. So we really try to do everything that we can to help your move, or if you're already here, what you need is easy and smooth as possible. You know, our thing is we care. That's what we say, and we try to, you know, do that in everything we do, to care about you and your family so that you have a positive experience.
So you've already identified several benefits and advantages to Quatro Legal, and like the procurement of documents. We don't do that, but you know somebody who does that's trusted.
Yes.
So
Yes.
That's a great concept.
And important with that, Terry, is to understand that, you know, we're going to oversee the documents, right? So that is really a place where people can get into trouble. If you don't have a qualified attorney's office that will oversee the documents to make sure these documents are accurate, to make sure that immigration is going to accept them, to make sure that immigration is not going to kick them out down the road, you've got to have eyes on those. So yes, we don't just get the documents when they're sent and then put them in the file and then go turn them in. Those things are going to be reviewed for accuracy to make sure that it all makes sense. For instance, women, you know, I'll pick on us for a minute. We can have a lot of issues with this process because, you know, we change our name all the time. You know, if we've been married more than once, and sometimes we just change it because we want to change it, you know, but we've changed our name. And so they'll have more documents sometimes than their spouse will because of that. And so our immigration team is going to make sure that all your name changes line up so there's not a gap. You know, so because if you were born Jones and you got married to Smith, but then you got divorced, and then you were McDonald, and now, you know, and now you're, you know, Matlock or whatever, you got to prove all that timeline. And so we're going to make sure that that lines up, because we don't want that coming back later in the process. We want to turn the application in, it be right up front and complete.
Okay. Another huge subject, which there's videos about, more specific videos, but in a nutshell, real estate.
Yes.
What are all the things Quatro Legal can do? In like briefly.
Briefly, yeah, briefly. Yeah, there's so much. I guess the biggest thing that people need to make sure that they talk to somebody about is, to me, it's important you understand what's different. You know, much of what happens in Costa Rica and much of the legal process is going to be similar to something you've already experienced in your life, but it can be also quite different. And real estate is where it is quite different. There are no title companies in Costa Rica, so therefore, you know, there's not laymen that are working the closing that only have like one attorney in their office that really is doing pretty much nothing because everything's drafted by a paralegal, right? You've got to make sure that there's due diligence done. You've got to make sure that your property you just bought that you've fallen in love with and it's the dream of your life has water, that it can have electric. You also have to make sure that the lot lines are the lot lines. It's not like buying a house in the States or Canada or anywhere else in the world that's in a development that no one even has to think about those thoughts, right? So there's a lot more to do, and the rates are calculated for closings quite a bit differently in Costa Rica. So we have a great team of people. They're happy to talk to people. They're happy to give you a quote. If you can give them a price range of what you're looking at buying, then they can tell you what the costs of that is. We essentially typically people don't pay those costs until closing. So you're getting a lot of complimentary information up front to really be able to make an informed decision about that. But you need to understand the similarities and then really be aware and watch the differences.
Okay. A couple months ago, we had the webinar about Caja.
Yes.
Just real quick, some things that Quatro Legal can help me do.
Yes. Quatro tries to really be full service. We have a lot of exciting things coming up soon that people need to watch our website about. But Caja is something that, we have our own experts. Some of you will have met. We call her Sue, and that's what she does. Her life is Caja, and she loves it. And she takes very much pride in making sure that people have representation at those appointments so that you get the rate that you're supposed to get. And that's great. And she also, if you've seen some of our other webinars, you will have met her before also, talking about the driver's licenses. And I think that is very exciting because it used to be that you couldn't get your Costa Rica driver's license until after you were approved. And then, you now have to make appointments and stuff like that. But now it's different. Not only once your residency application is turned in, do you not have to leave the country anymore, but you also can go and get a temporary Costa Rica driver's license, which is really, I think, nice to be able to have, because if for some reason you were to get stopped or whatever, you have that driver's license other than, your other one. And then you don't ever have to worry that somehow it's going to expire or that kind of thing. So those are an exciting change that I would have liked to have had, when we first applied, instead of waiting so long.
With every new year, we never know what's around the corner. We never know what's going to happen, and COVID was an example of that. And I know people are searching for, okay, what is the government saying? Can Quatro help interpret, or they put out statements to clarify when some government mandate or guidance comes down? Quatro Legal will do that if I'm following y'all, you on Facebook. And
absolutely. And an example of something that is kind of on the tip of everybody's tongues right now that are aware, and is a big change, is the Costa Rican government's stance on Airbnb, VRBO, and rental property of those that, you're expats or you're just investors, or you may live here part-time. Some people live here full-time and rent properties, like they'll build a couple of little casitas on their property. And for the most part, I think it would be safe to say most people have just been, running those not as a business. And now that the Costa Rican government is going to crack down on that, Airbnb, I think this was just publicized in one of the papers last week or the week before. They're going to require that Airbnb and VRBO, they're going to have to collect your personal information, just like, if you're in the States and you have a PayPal account, you have to give them your social security number. And if you get over so much a year, they're going to send, in the States, they're going to send you a 1099. Similar, but different in that you're going to have to put your corporate information there. They're going to know who you are. They're going to expect monthly accountant statements. They're going to expect monthly payments on the sales tax, or otherwise called VAT tax. They're going to expect a lot of things. And for some people, that may mean that they just stop renting because they don't want to do that anymore. Or they're going to have to incur, I mean, if they've got a unit that's making them a lot of money, then they probably will hire an accountant. It's not horribly expensive. But you're going to have a lot of things to pay. And it could be down the road, then there's going to be, maybe income tax or whatever that's going to come for that. But so that's kind of a big event for a lot of people, because there's a lot of rental properties in Costa Rica.
Right. So, and that often happens. Unfortunately, people try to take advantage or loopholes or sneak something by, and it's revealed, and then you gotta. It's time to do things the right way, the legal way, and Quatro Legal can be my advocate, so to speak.
That's right.
When it comes to what are some other areas? We talk about real estate, Caja. What are the issues come up that Caja help?
Well, we have all kinds of very affordable maintenance type packages, even down to a package that people can use to get, for those of you who aren't aware, in Costa Rica, if you have a vehicle, you have to get it inspected. That name for that changes every so often, and I think it's going to change again. It was Reteve and now DECRA, so you just that just changes according to the company who's actually doing it. But you have to do that. And then you have to pay your marchamo, which is kind of akin to registration and license and insurance, but minimum insurance in the States. And I think it works that way in Canada too. We have maintenance packages for that. So, somebody will take your car, take your vehicle, help you through that process, because it's really a great thing to have someone who is Costa Rican take your vehicle for that inspection. Almost everyone agrees with that, and before there's never been anybody really, there's been little people here and there that are just regular folks doing it, but not a company. So that's one of the services we offer. You can go on the website. Really, truly, we're trying to be that place that people can turn to if they're relocating or if they've moved to Costa Rica and they need any kind of help with almost anything, from paying your taxes to doing, every few years you have to have your real estate property reassessed, help with that, paying different, there's even the things that's like help you with the payment and filing of your annual corporate things. One of those being the, I just call it the beneficiary form. Most people know what that means. It's that transparency document. Lots of those little things that, when you're still trying to get your sea legs, you don't understand what to do or how to do it. And again, it's all in Spanish, so we have a lot of things, and we have more things coming down that are going to be very exciting for our clients to be able to take advantage of.
So I could either flounder around in the world of social media or Google search and things like that, or what's the best way to contact Quatro Legal?
The best way is you can go on the you can go on the website. You can just email us, or you can be on social media and you can send a message. We're not hard to find, but please don't sit and waller and flounder with needing a piece of information and just relying on the consensus of Facebook to tell you what you should do. We want you to be able to make informed decisions. You can contact us without any cost to you. What a deal, right? So you can at least have the peace of mind of knowing what is true and accurate, so that you can start to make a decision. Sometimes people ask us things and need information from us that it's something that it's not something that we do. It's not even a legal question. It could be something totally different. I spend a lot of time talking to people about, in the Central Valley, what's the weather like? How's it here in this part of the bowl? How is it over here in this part of the bowl? I talk to them about these areas, and where I think that they might want to look, and they tell me, I listen to what they're thinking, and then I can tell them. I always, anybody that's listened to my things, they know that and people laugh at this, and you will too, but I tell people you need to decide what kind of mouse you are, right? They don't know where to live, okay? I ask them, are you a country mouse? Are you a city mouse? Or are you a beach mouse? And if you can answer one of those 3 questions, then I can tell you about where you probably should go look. Because if you're in a city mouse, you don't need to be looking, in Buena Costa on the beach, because you don't like that weather. You
Right.
want to be in more of a moderate climate. I spend a lot of time explaining a lot of things to people that have nothing to do with a legal question, because they don't have anybody else to ask. But the sharing of pooling of ignorance that happens on Facebook, which is what it is, really.
So I could
get a hold of me.
email you, and
Yes.
I can ask you a stupid question.
You can ask me anything. You can ask me. I mean, it's 15 years. You can't believe what I didn't know. I mean, we hadn't even really, because we're the people who didn't rent first, right? And we're the people who bought a foreclosure in a country we didn't speak the language. What could have gone wrong? Now, luckily, nothing went wrong. We love it. We wouldn't change it for the world. But I'm just really stupid lucky, because the community we're in is the greatest thing ever. Just expats. Everybody would help each other with anything. But that doesn't happen every day, Right. I would have really loved to have had somebody to talk to, that you could ask them any question. You can ask me anything. I will do my best to get the answer. And if I don't have the answer, I will try to find somebody who does know the answer. You just reach out, let's talk, because I want Costa Rica to be a great experience for you. And I want it to be your 2025 reality, because I'm in love with it. Everybody that's friends of mine, we're in love with it, and we wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah. Costa Rica has a lot of opportunities, and there's a lot of information out there. Whatever you're looking for, full-time, become an expat, relocate here, or part-time, whatever it is, buy investment property and do all the paperwork for that, getting the car, whatever it is. Quatro Legal is there because they care. And once again, I know the 3 key things that I hear about is telling you the truth, telling you everything you need up front, and then following through. And
that's right.
And you find a company like that, Quatro Legal is one of them, then you give Debbie a call. Make sure you check out howlermag.com for a lot of information. When it comes to the weather and the regions to live in, all you got to do is we got a great section on the different regions. You just tell them to go to Howler, Debbie, next time they ask you that.
I will. You'll tell them what kind of mouse they are, right? You're going to tell them.
No, I haven't considered that mouse story. I have to.
Yeah, you're going to think on that for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's so many different options, and I am mind boggled by the confusion, misinformation, disinformation, and information that comes from people who haven't been happy for a long time.
Yeah.
You need to avoid them and give Debbie a call. Okay.
That's right.
Text Debbie, send her a message, and consultations are available. And if they can't help you, they'll find somebody who can.
That's right. And I'll be looking forward to hearing from everyone.
Thank you for joining us. Make sure you look back at all the past videos. And another good thing, if something changes on one of the pre-recorded videos, say from 2024, they'll put that on the information to keep those videos up to date. They'll put the information on the comment section of the video, so you'll know that a certain change was made, because we don't want the wrong information staying online. And that's what happens a lot of time. People don't purge or clean up their information. So Quatro Legal will do that to keep you current on all the things that you need to know about. And Debbie, I hope you have a great year. It's going to be an exciting year.
Thank you.
And
I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Terry. This is always so much fun to see you. I have so much fun being on here and talking to you.
I see every once in a while on Facebook, and there she is. I know her. But thank you for joining us. Share this with your friends and repost it. Send them a link and say, "Hey, you're looking at doing this. Consider this company." And we appreciate that. Appreciate that. So thank you for joining us for another edition. Happy New Year to you, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Ciao, Terry.
Bye-bye. Ciao.